Okay, so I'm going to work through problem three um, to kind of get you going on that, and then problem seven I'm going to help you set up. Okay, so problem three, we've got this triangle right here, and it's a little weird because it looks like two triangles, right? And a little confusing. This is, if you don't remember, this is an isosceles triangle because you have two sides that are equal to each other, and then the third side is a different length that's not the same. If all three are the same, that is called an equilateral triangle. But this is an isosceles triangle, and what we know about isosceles triangles is when you run your height down to the base, right, on an isosceles triangle, is it always bisects the base. In other words, it always makes it into two even parts. Now, if you don't remember that and you don't feel like having to prove that, right, the easy way to think about it is, well, if we use the Pythagorean theorem, right, for both of these, right, you're going to have the same C because this is your hypotenuse for this one. And then if this is a right angle, that means this is a right angle. And so this is also C. And you're going to have the same X, right? You're going to have the same X. So that means these have to be equal to each other. These absolutely have to be equal to each other. And if they're equal to each other and added up to make 18, all you got to do is go 18 divided by 2 equals 9. And we know that they are both 9 units or whatever this is long. Okay, and once you know that, it's just a matter of figuring out what's what. All right, so let's just look at one of these. Like let's take it and let's turn it so it's a little more friendly. Here's our kind of slightly crooked triangle that I made. So we got 26 right here. This is 9, and we want to find this, and this is x, right? So, well, we could call 9a. X can be b, right? And 26 is our c. So when we put our values into a squared plus b squared equals c squared, that's what we're going to use. So a, we said, is 9, so we have 9 squared, and then plus, and then we're going to use x for b plus x squared equals, well, c is 26. So 26 squared, okay? And so now it's just a matter of just squaring the numbers. First of all, to figure out what those are, 26 squared is going to be, I don't know, like maybe 700 something, maybe not quite that big. It'll be at least 600. So it's 26 times 26 is 676. All right, I got a little excited thinking it would be 700. So 676. So 81 plus x squared equals 676. So to solve for x squared, the first thing I need to do is get it by itself. So we're going to subtract 81 on both sides. You're going to get x squared is equal to, this becomes 5, this becomes 9, and this becomes 5. So 595x squared. So what I would try to do, right? So we're going to take square root of both, and you're going to get x is equal to the square root of 595. So I guess what I would do is I would think about all the numbers, all the square numbers that will get me that might apply, that might fit into this, and try them, right? So if you think about, if you go down your, because I want to see if I can simplify this a little bit, all right? So I'm going to write down all my numbers here. We'll go up to, I don't know, go up to maybe 17 or 18, right? So we got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and we'll just go up to 17, right? So 1 squared is 1. That never helps anything, right? 2 squared is 4. 3 squared is 9, right? So we're just squaring these, right? 4 squared is 16. 5 squared is 25. 6 squared, 36. 7 squared is 49. 8 squared is 64. 9 squared is 81. 10 squared is 100. 11 squared is 121. 12 squared is 144. 13 squared is 169. 14 squared, I believe, is 196. And then 15 squared is 225. 16 and 17, I got to check. 16 times 16 is 256. And then we'll do one more, and then we can stop pretty much and not write any more down, because once you get to this point, right, if you go more than half of what 595 is, so in other words, if you go above 300, it's not going to do anything for you because you won't be able to divide it, right? It'll be less than 1 for left. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at this and we're going to say, okay, which one of these might be candidates to work here? All right, so the ones that I would check is I would say, all right, first of all, let's get rid of anything where it's even, because this is an odd number, right? So 4 is not going to work. 16 won't work. 36 won't work. So all your even answers won't work, right? All these. So we got rid of a ton of them. Now now it's just a matter of just seeing how much you know about your divisibility rules and if any of these happen to work. Now, I'm pretty sure 9 isn't going to work, and how I know 9 isn't going to work is 9, the divisibility rule for 9 is if you add everything up, and that number is divisible by 9. So 5 plus 9 is 14, and 14 plus 5 is 19. 19 is not divisible by 9, so it will not work for this, right? And then it will not work probably for this, right? Because 81, it's got to be divisible by 9, right? And hopefully that makes sense to you. Now, I know 25 is not going to go into it because think of money, right? So 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, right? They always end in either 25, 50, 75, or double zeros. And this ends in 95. So nope, that's not going to work, right? And then I also know for the same reason that 15 is not going to work, because if you double 225, you get 450, and then if you work in one more 225, you've gone over. So that won't work. So we could try 49. So I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way, and I'm just going to go 595 and divide it by 49 and see if it works. And it does not. I get 12.14. So not 49. This thing is looking like it's not going to be able to be simplified, but we want to be sure. I don't know what's going on here. You can go away. Yeah. All right. So now let's try 11 or 121. So you go 595 divided by 121, and that's 4.91. Right. That didn't work. We try 169. See if that works. I don't think that's going to work either, but let's try it. So 3.52, nope. So we got one last thing that might work. We can see if 289 works. I'm pretty sure it's not going to, and it does not. All right, it gives you 2.058 with a bunch of junk after it. So none of this works, meaning that this is your answer. All right, it's horrible looking and it's huge, but that's your answer. So this is square root of 595. And just for reference, all right, so you see that it makes sense, right? I'm going to pull up the calculator, and we are going to just figure out what the square root of this is, so you can see that it makes sense. And the square root of it is 24.4, basically 24.39, right? Which makes sense, right? It should be smaller than the hypotenuse, right? And yeah, so that's how that works. Okay, so that's that one. And then really quickly, number 7. Okay, it says an airplane lands at an airport 60 miles east and 25 miles north of where it took off. So let's say this is where you're taking off, right? This is your airport. We'll make this big dot, and that's where you are. And it says it lands at an airport 60 miles east, so it's going this way, right? And 25 miles north, so north would be this way, because if you think of a compass rose, right? You got north, south, and then that would be west and east, right? And so it's this way and this way. So you can just make a triangle and just say, well, you're starting here, right? And you go this way 60 miles, and then you go north 25 miles, right? And you're using straight dimensions, and then it wants to know how far apart are the two airports. So if it's landing here, the distance between 2 points is always a straight line. So that distance right there is going to be your hypotenuse, right? That's going to be your C. So it's basically just a matter of a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and you can do the rest. But that's the setup, and that's how that works. So hope these are helpful to you. Sorry, I completely over-explained the problem 3, trying to simplify it, but I just wanted to show you kind of the process I go through when I'm dealing with something where you get a very large number. So good luck with these, and we'll see you on the next lesson.